So, Conor, hello, how are you, man? Thank you very much for being with us on Radioacktiva.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm all right. I was saying I'm just a little bit all over the place just because of the current affairs in the internet, but I'm okay. I'm trying to stay present and not be online too much, otherwise I'll just lose my mind.
Yeah, I know. How are you handling your lockdown?
Well, actually, I found myself being very creative and very active, kind of doing everything that I should be doing, which is good. Because I know there's a side of me too that could let myself, like my mental health, take precedent and like just kind of be a sludge for 4 weeks. But instead, I've done the opposite, and I've just been writing loads, and I've just been working out, going for walks, just like all the stuff I should be doing. So I feel I'm in a good place. I just I've been practicing just trying to be present and not about tomorrow or yesterday. I'm just trying to do each day as it comes for me.
Okay. I wanted to ask you something I've been thinking about lately. You'll see where I'm going. Has your relationship with the new Nothing But Thieves songs changed during lockdown? Now that you're sort of living in your house, listening to music, do these songs have a new meaning for you?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think most musicians would say the same thing. Once you've written a song, it doesn't feel like it's yours anymore, which is a good thing. I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's like you've kind of released it, and then it's the world's to think about and get immersed with. I don't listen back to the songs anymore. We do, because the thing is, you record it for 9 weeks, and you're totally immersed in it, and then you listen to the mixes for another 4 weeks, so you're probably engaged in it. But I haven't listened to them back. I think Is Everybody Going Crazy is slightly different. It's a slight anomaly with that because of the current climate we're in, and it does feel very apt. And plus I'm going for drives and hearing it on the radio a lot, which is weird, because in the past, I've been on tour and I would never really listen to the radio. I just listen to Spotify, and I'm not going to go and search out our own songs. But I've heard it in the car a lot, and I enjoyed it. I have to admit.
But I wanted to ask precisely about that song. Is Everybody Going Crazy? Because when you once we listen to this song, and I'm sure this whole thing was created, written, and produced and recorded before we all getting locked down around the world, and with the current political climax and everything going around, I was thinking, is everybody going crazy? Do the guys from Nothing But Thieves think how different the people are perceiving the songs from how they probably thought it was going to be received initially?
100%. I can't even explain the paradox of releasing that song a week before lockdown. We had that song written the previous 2 years of lunacy that was going on in our country, and mainly our country, but other countries too. But so to have it released, it was already set up to be released for months. Basically, when you have a single, you have to kind of lock it in with the plan and be like, this is going to be released in 2 months. You probably know that from radio stuff. But so when the weeks were coming up for me, we were going to release it in the UK for the first week. It was all getting heated, and this is when people were stealing toilet rolls, and like there was no pasta on the shelves. And I remember walking into the radio station and being like, what is going on at the moment? I felt super crazy and super heightened in it. So I did this interview for this radio station, and it just felt so real. It felt like you were just you were writing a handwritten note to everyone at that exact moment. And then things have just got even crazier the last few weeks. So yeah, I really feel like the song feels so present right now, so current, and you can take what we've written there and use it for each situation over the last 6 weeks, 10 weeks, Yeah, you're right. It has a new meaning each week.
But even with the video, the first thing we see on video is a shot from like on your back, and I don't really know how to say it in English, so be patient with me. You're sort of playing with a light bulb, and all of a sudden the camera turns and there's the whole band. So the first thing I thought is lockdown. So I'm like,
the video. I know the video again was. I'm not going to say a piece of luck because it's not luck that we're in this situation. It sucks. It's difficult. It's hard. But again, just we had recorded that video months before lockdown, months before there was even news about the virus, or maybe it was like almost just at the time that we heard that there was this thing going on in Wuhan, and we were like, we didn't think much of it. We were like, okay, this is odd. And I think we were at the time like elbowing each other almost as a joke, being like, can't shake hands. But nothing, we didn't feel any of the, the hysteria. And yeah, and the video is a character that is in his own world, and it's in this one room and he can't escape. And the video is more about paranoia. But the fact that I'm in my own flat, which is a smallish flat, in here all the time essentially, other than obviously when I can go for a walk. You have that complete feel that the video relates to how we are now. It's again not the word luck, but it's bizarre. It's weird. It's weird, yeah. I can't explain it.
Yeah. Well, about the coming record, you're working with Mikey Crossey, great producer. He worked with some of my favorite artists. Actually, he did Jake Bugg, Foles, at 1975, if I recall. Is he just producing a few tracks, or is he like working on the whole record?
Yeah, he's done the whole record. It's recorded. It's great. I love working with him. What I love about him as in terms of producing the band, he's incredible. Sonically, he makes everything sound so amazing. But when it comes to doing vocals with him, he really lets me breathe, and that's something I've not really experienced before. Where I kind of got in the booth with him, and I'd get in my own booth and isolate myself off and turn off and make a big set of walls and like hang things around, so I'm in my own world. And he just lets me. He barely says anything, and just lets me do what I want. And then just goes, I really like that take. Do more of those. He just lets me experiment. And the way I sing, I never sing the same way twice. I just can't. It's a weird thing, like where I always, whatever I'm feeling in that moment and whatever I want to portray with the message of the song, it just comes out of me in a weird emotional response. So I can't always redo it, if you get what I'm trying to say, which is a good thing and a bad thing, where he just lets me breathe, lets me do what I want. And normally it's like the first 2 or 3 takes, and then they're the ones on the record, because that's when you're feeling most emotionally heightened and you're really expressing the song for the first time. And Mike is just good with that. He just lets us, in all our things, drums, guitar, piano, everything, vocals, he just lets you do you, instead of trying to put his spin on it and trying to squash you in. His job is to make a good band sound great, and he's done that with bands like Phallus, 1975. He doesn't squash you or try and put Mikey Crossey on it. He just amplifies a good band. I'm not saying we're a good band. I'm just saying that's what his job is as a producer, and I really appreciate that. He's not trying to come at it from a writer perspective where he's like, well, I do this, He's amazing. He's the best producer we've worked with.
No, but it is great, because I wanted to get into that. I believe that Mike's work as a producer always has this special thing when it comes to the atmosphere of the vocals on a record. You feel it on the 1975 record. You feel it in Foles. Like, okay, it's not like they're separate, but the vocals do a whole different thing when you listen to the whole record. Like, okay, it's like there's the atmosphere on the melody of the lead singer, and you feel the band really marching behind it. So it's like, it makes sense having Mike again, because he produced your past record, right?
And he just absolutely smashed that for me and for the boys. So it totally made sense again. And vocally, you're right. He what I found really, really flattering for me is that he really, really, really wanted me to keep all the mix of the vocals high and dry, which is essentially just with a little amount of effects, and it just sitting on top. like singular tracked as well, so not double or three tracks, which happens a lot. And I like sometimes it gives a cool effect. But he's like, I want to hear all the nuance in your voice. I want to keep it quite clean, and you just take you take hold of that. And that's a really powerful thing, and really flattering for me, because it just means he trusts that I'm delivering for the track without having. Because I'm quite, even though I'm quietly confident with my voice, but I'm the first person to doubt myself and be like, no, I want to redo that. Can I redo that? You know, that's just me. But he's just like, we're doing the single track, your clean vocal, and that's it. I'm like, okay. But yeah, and I like that. But what you said about the atmosphere with other bands, I definitely get that too. With Wolf Alice and Foles, he created a sound for them, I think, sonically and vocally, and I think that's fantastic. And they've definitely taken that for their future projects.
So far, we've only had these 2 tracks from your coming record because they let me listen to a real love song for this interview. Yeah. So I liked it, and we're going to get there because there's something I really wanted to ask you about it. First of all, I want to make it clear that I don't like to tag music, you know, like this day and age, you shouldn't call this a punk band or a rock band or alt rock band or whatever. I just think it's, in this day and age, you shouldn't be doing that.
No.
But when I listened to those 2 tracks, I found something interesting. It's like if you're experimenting more into R&B, like a little soulish kind of thing there in the vocals. I've heard your records before, of course. Amsterdam is a big hit for us. A Trip Switch too. But this song sound like you're trying something different, like really, really different, you know? So I was wondering, you know, should I ask about R&B to the Nothing But Thieves lead singer?
No, I think people, well, it's fair enough. I think people think that I'm a rock singer that comes from a rock background. I was a soul singer and an R&B singer before I met these boys and made this band. And it was finding a way to find my kind of R&B voice over a rock setting. And that's when I fell in love with Jeff Buckley when I was like 14. And wow, I can do something soulful and emotional, but still sounds cool over rock. And then I guess the last 6 months to a year, in my personal downtime, I've been writing, alongside Nothing But Thieves ideas, I've just been writing loads and loads of random stuff. And a lot of my interests are R&B and neo soul, and then really old school stuff. I've been kind of immersed in soul and rhythm and blues since I was a kid. My dad used to play Nina Simone records like constantly. It just floated around the house, and he'd be singing that sort of stuff. And my dad was I wouldn't say he's not a gospel singer, but he sang that way my whole life, and it's just ingrained in me. So yeah, I reckon in this new record there probably will be a lot more of that sort of thing. Obviously, everybody going crazy. There's a particular bit, it's the pre-chorus that is obviously like, it's a soul lick, but it's because I purposely at that point wanted to put a melody in that took you away from the rock, which is what we always do. We're quite genre bending in that sense. And I remember when we started the first half of the track and had that kind of heavy rock groove, and I thought, this is cool, this is really great. How can I make this feel very different from where it's feeling right now? And Dom had that chord progression, and I just thought of old blues licks that I used to love, and I just want to go, you know, just make it work over that. And I think we're always trying to do that, try to push and pull the genres each way. And R&B has been a really heavy influence on me for my whole life, and it probably will be even more in the future, Nothing But Thieves stuff, because I can't stop writing pop and R&B at the moment. I just can't stop it. So it's just what it is.
No, but you know, it's nice because you guys kind of breathe into those kind of music. And when I know you like Jeff Buckley, I know you like soul, and in your upcoming song, you mentioned. Let me get into the lyric again. You mentioned Nick Cave, right? So you're just sitting all alone and listening to Nick Cave, love, right? So there's also this singer-songwriter thing that also is an influence into Nothing But Thieves.
Yeah, I think a huge thing with us, which we've always said to each other, not just in interviews, is that we don't want to write a song or ever have a song out that doesn't feel like it has a soul. So I'd probably say Joe and I especially have really garnered our tastes to old school songwriters, Nick Cave, Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, the list goes on and on and on and on. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and list them all up. But so there's always a fundamental classic bed of songwriting in it. And I think the Real Love Song, obviously, without giving away too much, because no one's heard it yet apart from you. That song is quite a classic song. And there's a few more on this record that has a classic tinge. Again, with the soul element, I can't help it with my voice though. I think I have a natural cry in my throat, and it just comes out. So I'm glad you pick up on it. It's cool.
No, and I like it because there are several things in the lyrics to that song which I like the song. When I say I hate myself for this love, and the whole Nick Cave thing. So yeah. I was wondering, some of the references, some of them, English not my native tongue, so sometimes I don't get to pick all the lyrics properly. I have to go through the song several times. I wanted to ask you, from a songwriter point of view, is hate a part of love?
Yeah, so the thing with Real Love Song as well, in particular, writing a love song nowadays can be quite trad and overly done. And the idea behind Real Love Song is that we wanted to really get into the guttural existence of love, the ugly side of it, the really ugly side of it. So Real Love Song, in its essence, is a bit of a pastiche on love songs. So those lyrics, like you said, hating myself, like that. Sitting all alone and listen to Nick Cave love it. There's an element of comedy in it too. It's a pastiche on those feelings that you have, those really dark feelings, but it's serious as well. It was quite, not to brag on our band, but we cleverly crafted it so it has a seriousness to it and a realness and a gutturalness to the lyric and a darkness. But at the same time, there's a sarcasticness to it too. It's saying these love songs you hear on the radio are like that. They're just this plain level, and it's really getting into the nitty gritty of love, and it could be unrequited. It could be hateful love, hate upon yourself. So that was the idea with Real Love Song, that it was a real love song. It is,
Yeah, I think somehow everyone around the world can connect to that kind of love song. The one that just hurts so much. Like you get that feeling from certain tracks that you listen to, and you just hurt so much. It just hurts so much, and it's not always about the song. It's how you get the message on a personal level.
Saying earlier, it's like as soon as you finish the song, whatever headspace you're in, where you were as a band, it's kind of there and out and gone, and that means that someone could listen to "Is Everybody Going Crazy?" a Real Love Song, and put in their own world and their own perspective, and then it just has its own life on every angle. And I think Cobain always said that. He said whenever people were like asking him about his songs, he just said, "Well, what do you get from it?" And then they'd be stumped and be like, and he just goes, "That's all that matters. What I get from it, I've done my bit." It's kind of funny, but it's not. I'm not being like that. I'm not as cool as Kurt Cobain. But it's that essence that once we're done with it, it's the world's to do with it. It's their job now to find their own meaning and message from it. And I've listened to songs over the years and just got the lyrics completely wrong, but felt such hard, strong emotions from it. And like, all right, for me, there's a song, Weird Fishes by Radiohead, which is my favourite Radiohead song in the entire world. I have like 2 or 3 tattoos of that particular song. And the lyrics aren't even about what I get from it. But when I hear it as a whole, I remember watching it at Glastonbury, and I just like burst into tears. I was like, whoa, what is going on? It just has an effect on me. And I think that's what's wonderful about a song, is that it becomes yours. Even if you didn't choose it to be yours, it just does, it just becomes yours.
That's it. Thank you very much. Looking forward for the full record, and hope someday we get to see you down here in Bogota.
Can't wait to be back. I'll see you soon.